All right, so got Bobby in my guard. So we're just gonna bring him down. We're gonna use the knee assist to get him into the Kimura itself. So again, if you look at Bobby, I always recommend a little bit of a bulldog on the elbows. You know, don't bring those elbows so tight inside. Give them a little bit of an outer. People who have, I have to start working out again. The crease in the muscle runs right about here. You get part of the quad that sits here, and then you get another muscle that sits here. There's an actual strand where the two muscles come together. It's a beautiful spot for the elbow to kind of rest. I'm not muscular enough right now for people to tell where that is. So as I'm coming in, so we're going to give that quick little pop of the hips. Okay, push his arms to the outside, and then pull with your knees to bring him in. And as you pull, then isolate one. And as you push the hand like you're going to put it into his pocket, and just bring that knee up into his bicep. So now from here, this is where some of the magic kind of sits. So I'm not really going to do anything other than hold Bobby's hand here. When the hand is at least in line with the elbow, okay, kind of parallel to the ground, then I'm doing pretty good. If his hand is down low and the elbow is higher, the magic's not as good. Okay, so if I'm here, and again, I'm not just pushing it, I'm literally like pushing his hand back like it's going to go towards his pocket. Sit up, Bobby. Okay, so right there, it creates a magic little tension in the shoulder, makes it difficult for Bobby just to sit up. Now, if I'm here and I'm going to drop the wrist, elbow is up a little bit high, okay, sit up. That's what we don't want. So when you're here, push the hand back as you bring the knee forward, okay, and then my leg is coming across his back. I usually bring it more towards the lower back. I'm not worried about trying to bring it up super high, but this kind of keeps him, sit up. This keeps him at least here, which then gives me the opportunity and time. I can come to the armpit if I need to, the elbow if I need to. Usually myself, I just hit my own leg out of the way, and that gives me the opportunity to slip into the actual Kimura. Through here, high elbow theory, take his elbow, draw his elbow as high to your chin as you can as I'm coming in here. Okay, now all I have to do is turn slightly, like I'm going to put my left elbow on the ground. There's my tap. Okay, if I don't go high elbow and I just go here, I'm going to make the same turn. Okay, high elbow, there's the tap, low elbow, there's the tap. So high elbow theory says the higher the elbow, not in relationship to the floor, the higher the elbow in relationship to their shoulder, the higher the elbow, the less rotation is required to cause the strain in the shoulder. All right, let's go back. The difference, the better. So as soon as I break Bobby down and I'm locking him up, okay? So right here, this hand is already in position. Okay? This hand is literally straight up and down. When I have him here and I've got him locked up, it's already straight up and down. There's no adjustment this hand needs to do. It's already in position. The second hand is the one holding on to my wrist. This is the one right now that's just going to be the passenger along for the ride. So one of the classics through here is if they can't sit up, or sometimes even if they can, they're just going to try to power their way out, straighten out their arm. And if you do it early enough, it absolutely does work. Because the biggest part you have to watch out for, which again is the secret of the Kimura, when the hand and the elbow become parallel and in line, that power belongs to me. The more it goes here, the more it belongs to Bobby, to the point where when he can bring that hand to the front, it's even better for him, okay? But if I'm here, the other thing that's gonna happen is if Bobby can get to me early enough, he just starts to straighten out his arm, okay? Now when he can roll that thumb, when the thumb faces me, okay, now the Kimura is gone, and more than likely Bobby just escaped. So we have a couple pieces that we have to work on. One is whenever they go to straighten out their arm, do not allow the low path. Okay, if he stays out here, this is where he becomes strong. And again, we can't let that thumb make its rotation. So when I'm here, again, my right hand is already in play. It's ready to do its job. Bobby's gonna start trying to straighten out his arm. Okay, I'm gonna fight him. Okay, now when I fight him, that's this hand's job. You're gonna feel like this hand is gonna try to arm wrestle him, like it's gonna go in, but that's the weakest spot. This is the one that's in the strongest position, but we tend to try to overpower it with the wrong hand. So all my right hand is right now is the grip, but it's my left hand. So when he's trying to straighten out, it's my left hand that wants to do the bulk of the work. Okay? And if I still can't keep him in place, and I feel like I'm about to lose the battle, okay, then we take it high and away. The roll is because of Bobby, not because of me. Once we're over the top, this position through here can be an incredibly difficult armbar to finish. So I go ahead and release. I just felt a lot of tension leave my own arm. Then I take his hand and I push it forward. And again, when we talk about how does he make his escape, it's that thumb. So when I'm here and I push him into the ground, I'm putting my palm literally on his thumb so that right now, roll your hand. Okay, that's literally the only grip that's actually necessary. I was already here. So instead of pushing him like this, I'm literally pushing my palm into the top of his thumb. This hand let go. I'm just going to put it on the floor. Okay. Now we're just going to do a diamond push-up. I call this a split grip armbar. Okay. Push onto your palm, and do a push-up. My left hand's the one that's actually doing the break. Push the palm down and lift your elbow. Okay. If I'm here, he's done. But again, if I go here and I don't control his thumb, if he rolls that thumb, now he's out. But if I keep his thumb to the floor, there is no escape. Okay, you can play it yourself. Okay, lay down on the ground and put your hand on the floor and see how far your arm will go with your palm still touching the ground. Guaranteed, it's only just a slight bit higher than your own shoulder. So when you start to recognize that, that's what I aim for. With Bobby, as soon as I go split grip, punch the arm forward, knowing it's only going to go just slightly higher than his own shoulder, and I split my grip. And then again, all I have to do is a push-up. It's super fast. If I keep the thumb down, where does he run if he wants to get rid of the arm bar? He comes back to the Kimura. So at that moment in time, because he's already out, that arm's going to be super out here. It's going to be hard to force it back in. So I go split grip, and then when he tries to run from that, I will not let him roll that thumb. And when he wants to try to fight it to get rid of the arm bar, he'll bring his hand back into the Kimura position. But try that experience, becomes a much more difficult position. I can get everything I wanted from this higher position as well. But again, through here, this predominantly is what's going to happen because you were too slow. Okay, hand's going to come through. The one part I cannot let him do is I cannot let him connect to my head. So as soon as I'm going to guide it over my head, he's going to start turning that thumb. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that that hand cannot connect to my head. Now, when I pull Bobby aside like this, where do you think he's going? Okay, he's going to start picking up that head, and he's going to start trying to drive back into me, and he's going to start trying to get this elbow back across. So as soon as I get this one across, this hand is coming in to make sure that his head cannot come towards me. And then at the same time, I'm going to create this space between his arm and his head. Okay, so now if Bobby is trying to push back into me, this should create more space. Bobby's still going to be trying to get up, so this leg wants to then come in to assist. My hands are good, but legs are best. So as soon as I make my connection through here, this one's going to come in and start to give an assistance to my hand. That means now, once my leg starts to come into play, that means my hand can now go off and do different things. So again, there's lots of different variations through here. The one we're going to go into is I'm posting. This knee is coming up to help pin into the shoulder. And then through here, I'm going to start to make my rotation. This one's going to go under. And as I go under, my foot is just going to make a quick little travel to his shoulder. Then as soon as we hit the position, my hips switch and my knee goes towards his belly button. That's going to give me the ability, just from here, I actually don't need to put my foot over his head. Once he's in this position, I like the arm going off the other direction and my hip, this hip simply pushes in. Now I can put my foot over, but it's technically unnecessary. It could triangle, get under his head, it could go over his face. Now the biggest part is we have to look at the concept of turning versus rolling. So if you look at the line right here, so when I come over, I post on his face, I bring this knee over. This is the part that we need to, through here, when I go forward, my knees will from here simply make the turn to go the other way. The part I don't want to do is I don't want to come over, touch my knees, because now this is the line I was aiming for, and now where am I? I mean, I'm almost 2 feet away. So when I make the transition and I come in here, post on his head, bring that knee over, and it's like I'm turning and almost like I'm making a small baseball slide out to the other side. This will allow me to stay connected to his shoulders a lot better. And then this foot through here, if Bobby is still over here, I'm cranking the arm across my hip. And then when he goes to somersault, this foot, this is literally all it needs to do. He somersaults, I bring my foot over, and by the time he somersaults, my foot's on the other side of his head now. It makes the transition super easy. In that position, it doesn't get caught up. It doesn't need to be over his body. All I need is control of the shoulder. So if I take that foot and just make that little pull. So again, I'm in, I break him down, bump, bump, bump. Right from here, turn, post. That knee is going to climb. When this hand comes over, this is when my hands are going to start making their little switch. So as I come over, well, there goes my foot. So you can see the foot goes behind the head, knee goes to the hip, and then I can take the arm the opposite way, or you can put the other foot over the head.